Okay, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers very busy early on into the legal tampering period. They make the first signing with Hassan Reddick, and then just 11 minutes into legal tampering period, Chris Godwin decides to stay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And again, this is the legal tampering period. It's kind of an open secret that teams will talk beforehand. As long as you're not too obvious about it, you won't get hit with any tampering stuff. So I'm assuming Godwin did have conversations with other teams. Jacksonville was reportedly very interested in him with the connection to him and Liam Cohen. Godwin coming off of, prior to the injury, one of his best seasons as a pro, did get injured though. Interestingly enough, the contract itself, so he's getting a 3-year, $66 million deal. That's $22 million a year. I can do that math. What's interesting is, so $44 million of it is guaranteed. So it's essentially a 2-year deal with a third team option. There's probably going to be some guarantees in that third year as well. So not exactly, but essentially something like that. What's interesting is Chris Godwin reportedly, this is according to Rappaport, left around $20 million on the table to go back to Tampa Bay, which is, I'm assuming that does not mean he got an extra year, although maybe it just meant he could have had an extra year, which wouldn't be that crazy. If he really left $20 million on the table for a 3-year deal, that's saying something. And honestly, even leaving a deal like that, even leaving an extra year, he's not the youngest player in the world anymore. Like, that's saying something. So, yeah, I mean, first off, as a Tampa Bay fan, I'm excited. Chris Godwin is a fun player to watch. I enjoy watching him play football, so seeing him continue to play football for my favorite team, yeah, I'm happy about that, and especially with how frustrating it was when he got injured last year, seeing him come back, how can you not be excited about it? Still just 29 years old, so, which feels young. I don't know why it feels like he should be older, but yeah, he is still just 29 years old, so you're getting 3 years of him, probably. I mean, I think they signed his contract expecting him to play through the whole thing, and I expect him to do that, barring any massive setbacks from the injury. Again, getting a number 1 caliber wide receiver, which Godwin was last year, maybe he hasn't been that every year of his career, but he was last year, getting that caliber of player, even coming off of an injury, for $22 million, it's good business, right? I mean, that's something that you can really like. And even in his quote-unquote down seasons, he had a little 1,000-yard streak going as well. He had over 1,000 yards in the previous 3 seasons. Of course, he had that 1,300-yard season back in 2019 in Jameis Winston's 30 for 30 year. And don't forget that was the year that Godwin actually got hurt towards the end of it. So he had 1,300 yards in just 14 games that year. So that was, pretty impressive as well, I would say. So he's been, at worst, a really good number 2, and at best, a number 1 caliber wide receiver. He's a fan favorite, and he's taking less money to stay with the Buccaneers, so how can you not be a fan if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan? I'm sure a lot of other teams, like, as crazy as it sounds to say, like, well, there were teams that were offering him $20 million more. At the same time, it's not that crazy to think that, like, the New England Patriots were offering him $29 million a year just because, hey, there's not that many great free agents on the board, right? So, or free agent wide receivers on the board. And if you can get someone like him, maybe that's what you do. Because, I mean, you look at the top free agents, like, again, using the PFF big board, the next couple on the board are Amari Cooper and Stephon Diggs, both of whom are, Diggs is also coming off an injury, Cooper's coming off of a down year. Like, then you have DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, these are key names, but not necessarily superstar level players. And again, Godwin's also coming off of an injury, but he's also coming off of a great season, so that's the thing. Now, I think it's fair to ask the question of, okay, yes, Godwin is coming off of a great season where he had in 7 games over 500 yards and also was just playing really well. Like, if you're watching him, he was just really effective player even without that. How much of it was the Liam Cohen scheme? I think that's a fair question to ask. Liam Cohen, who knows how much he had his fingerprints on the scheme last year, but definitely we saw the offense, which was good 2 years ago, go up a next step. Part of that was Godwin. Well, here's why I'm not that worried about it, is the new offensive coordinator is going to do very similar things to what Liam Cohen did. Now, listen, Byron Leftwich did attempted to do very similar things to what Bruce Arians did. That didn't work out so well. So it doesn't always work out that way just because it's a similar type of scheme. But again, on paper, this is something that feels like it makes sense and feels like it can work. And for Tampa Bay, this is also, I think, a credit to Jason Licht of he didn't just throw whatever money he could at Chris Godwin to make sure that he stays, right? It would have been very easy for him to say, well, I don't want Chris Godwin to leave. Let me, if the Patriots are offering him $29 million a year, let me offer him $30 million a year. Jason Licht said, no, I know the deal. I know what is the smart move for us. And if someone else is going to pay him too much, then that's what we have to do, which is something we've seen him do in the past. We've seen Jason Licht do this in the past of be a little bit, play a little bit of hardball and say, like, this is the contract. I think with Mike Evans, it was something kind of similar where he said, this is the money. Like, if you really want to go somewhere else and they're going to give you what we consider to be not a great contract, then you can do that. That's an option you have on your table. But it also goes to show, I'm going to give credit to Todd Bowles here a little bit, which is not something I always do, but you do have to give him some credit because he has maintained this winning culture with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to where players want to sign here and not just the way they did when I was growing up, where they just wanted to sign here so they could coast and get some nice no income tax and warm weather and not have to try that hard. They want to stay here because they want to win. And that's, I think, credit to Bruce Arians, who helped turn this culture around, credit to Tom Brady, but also credit to Todd Bowles for keeping it this way, and credit to the players as well, like Godwin and Evans and Mayfield, who have helped maintain this winning culture. So ultimately for Tampa Bay, I was a little concerned going into this offseason. I'm not going to lie, of what are we going to do here? Are we going to lose some key pieces? And while I still don't love that we've lost Liam Cohen, who I know fans have kind of turned on, and I understand why, I still think he's a good coordinator. But I'm very happy we're keeping Godwin. Letting really good wide receivers leave is not smart business. I'm happy with the Hassan Reddick trade, and we'll see if more things happen. But as of right now, I'm as a Tampa Bay fan, I'm pretty thrilled with how this offseason has gone so far. We'll see how it continues. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Chris Godwin staying with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sorry to everyone who was hopeful that they would get him, but congratulations to us Bucs fans. Those are my thoughts on all of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, I will mention I do have a YouTube channel. I do have a movie YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. I do have a movie YouTube channel. Talk about movies, do some tier lists, fun things like that as well. You can check that out if you want to. The link is in the description below. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Chris Godwin back to the Bucs. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from ya. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.